Greetings, this is Sami Joka. I am from Albania and I live in Washington, D.C. What I want to talk today is something that I cannot stay without talking, and I'm terrified to talk about, because no matter what you say, some people are not gonna like it. Some people are gonna think that you don't like them, and they're gonna hate you, and you might have friends that might not be happy with what you said. But regardless, I believe it is too much to hold on and not to speak about, seeing all that goes on in the holy land of Palestine or Israel. I myself do not believe I know all to be able to blame or justify any of the sides. I don't know nothing, but I'm human and I have a heart, and I believe that I'm being played fool by evils in our government. The White House I'm talking about, that lunatic Biden and that idiot Blinken, who for me and to me are war criminals. This lunatic Biden was so quick to call Putin a war criminal. Yes, I believe he is. Anyone, for any reason, who kills indiscriminately civilians to achieve any idea, even if they believe that idea of theirs is holy, is a fucking war criminal. So I have no problem calling Putin and all the oligarchs who stand by him killing Ukrainian a war criminal. But the biggest war criminal are the hypocrites in the White House, is Biden, and is his fucking Secretary of State, and all the lunatics who tell the American people, because is the election coming? Yes, Biden, maybe it was not, he didn't have the perfect solution or engagement in, but we still should vote for him, because if not voting for him, we're bringing in power to power fascists, meaning Trump. So vote for a fucking war criminal. We are the one killing the Palestinian kids and Palestinian women and Palestinian old people and starving them to death. We are the ones supplying the munitions and arms and rockets to demolish their homes. We are the one supporting Netanyahu's government when they go inch by inch, day by day, steal their land to build more settlements. we are the biggest hypocrites, and until we call the real culprit war criminals, there is no solution. Why shall Netanyahu stop killing kids and killing old people and women and journalists when he knows that whatever he does, he's supported by US, Senate and Congress? I don't want to go into the reasons for that. I am not that that Israel shouldn't exist. Of course it should exist. Jews are the greatest people maybe the world has ever seen. But Israeli government is the biggest evil. And that is because, not because the British formed them, not because Hordes, when he was proposing a Jewish state, was evil, but because our government, they don't care for Jews, they don't care for Palestinians, as they don't care for black people here. They only care for their sinister agendas. Actually, to tell you the truth, what I see with this motherfucking our leaders, they don't care even for Israel. But they are terrified and scared by the Jewish lobby. If Jewish lobby is not strong, this motherfucking evils, they will not care if Jews are all burned in Israel. I don't trust them. Jews shouldn't trust them. You don't consider this motherfucking that are your supporters when they do that because they are scared of you. Great for you. Great for you that you are, no matter. Jews have been discriminated by the entire world, no matter how much they have contributed. I tell you, I'm not crazy about religions. To believe that Jews are God's chosen people, but to me they are. And they should act like God's chosen people. And I'm sure they are acting, because I do not blame on a single Jew all this crime and atrocities that are perpetuated, is the word, against the Palestinians, is the evils in the government in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, wherever the Israeli government sits, and the evil in the White House, in Congress, in Senate, and as people talk in the media, in the Hollywood. Jews are not the problem. Jews are the solution, and should be the solution not only to their own problems, but the solution to all the problems of mankind, because they believe they are, and they should act as God's chosen people. You are not God's chosen people, or you are not acting as one, in my opinion. If you believe that what happened under that criminal, the other war criminal Hitler, to Jews should never happen again. No, this is not enough. Jews should not allow that to happen to any race, to any kind of people, what has happened to them. That's how they raise themselves above all other races, nations. What is a nation? What? Yes, Jews identify themselves as the Israelites or Yahudis or whatever that speak Hebrew. and Palestinians speak Arabic and identify themselves as Arabs, and neither one is true. Palestinians have nothing to do with Arabs speaking ethnically, if we go to their DNA, but they speak Arabic and the Arabs don't give a shit for them. That's why they are not helping them. They don't give a shit because Palestinians are not Arabs. Of course they speak Arabic. Of course they are Muslims. They became Muslims. Palestinians, if you go to the ancient time, before even Moses' time, they have immigrated there from Pelasgians, same as the Phoenicians in Lebanon, wherever they are. But what is a nation? We have created Israel. We want to keep that as a Jewish state because we identify all people that are Jews in Israel as believing in one religion. How about if Jews tomorrow, those who are in Israel, I'm not talking about Jews who live in America or Jews who live in Europe or Russia or what have you, but Jews who live in Israel, if they decide tomorrow, some of them, to believe in Christianity, are we going to stop calling them Jews and call them Germans or Italians or British? So it's very confusing. We make some definitions based on what pleases our agenda. How about if Jews decide not to believe any longer in Moses or Torah, but let's say they don't believe in God at all. Some of the Jews, not all. They don't go anymore to synagogue. They don't believe and don't listen to rabbis no more. Are they still going to be Jews? So what is this? A Jewish state. Yes, Jews have the state. Maybe should have the entire ancient Palestine, maybe including Syria. I have no problem on that. Maybe including the entire Gaza, whatever. Make it Israel. Call it Palestine. Jews of Palestine, whatever. But what is that to call a Jewish state and we, idiots, call it a democratic state? How can you be a Jewish state and democratic state? You have to be a lunatic to believe that. How can it be both at the same time, democratic and don't recognize others? Not maybe not as equal, but even as citizens of that country? Or call the Palestinians non-democratic when they have chosen Hamas democratically. You see, we might not like Hamas. They might be criminals for real. And they maybe don't have excuses or justification that living in cage, having seen their homes demolished, having seen their grandparents or parents, expelled from their home in 1948. Maybe even if this doesn't justify what they are and they are criminals, they are elected democratically. So fuck democracy means nothing. Don't give me that bullshit democracy like that is something good and holy. And then democracy is present in Palestine but has brought a government or a group that leads that are, let's say, criminals, if Hamas are. So what the fuck is democracy? Who plays with this stupid idiotism? Or call democracy Israel? So what I am hurting is not something that is done by Jews. I am sure if you go in Israel and if you go all over the world wherever the Jews live and you ask them if they support what Netanyahu is doing, I'm sure 95% or 90% support these crimes. But this is not to blame them. When a nation, so the Palestinians, if you ask all the Palestinians if they want to destroy Israel completely, I'm sure the 95% of them would say that yes, they want to kick every Jew out of Israel, which is evil, and you still cannot and should not call an entire nation evil because they hate with all their guts the other side. There are reasons for that. You only, if you have power, try to refrain them from killing each other by not giving rockets, for example, to fucking Netanyahu to kill kids, to destroy hospitals, because they claim that under the hospitals are military bases, which we don't know. That is not verified by independent sources, but only by the U.S. intelligence that we cannot trust our government and Israel. But even if they are, where the fuck should they stay if we have caged them in a small area? Except under there, we cannot go and kill every civilians because a fucking Hamas soldier is underground and kill the entire nation. Same as we cannot support the fucking idiots who want to demolish and destroy Israel. Where shall we take? I mean, they will never achieve that. But where should Jews who forget them who came from Russia or Albania or England, but those who are born there, who have said the first word, mom and water and father, those Israeli kids born in Israel, where the fuck should they go to please the beliefs that they don't belong there, but Zionists brought them there? No. I don't support neither one of them, but there is no solution as long as we have evils who are doing what they're doing for their agenda, not for Jews and not for America and maybe not for Zionists, but things have gone completely wrong. I do believe on what is Ben-Gurion, I believe, when he said that creating a Israeli state, I don't know word per word, is not going to be bad for the Arabs. We called Palestinians Arabs. Palestinians have never been Arabs, but they identify as Arabs because they speak Arabic, whatever. So he said, Ben-Gurion said, sorry if I mispronounce his name, is an Austrian Jew, I believe, who was the first prime minister and took place in the war. Some would call displacing the Palestinians. Some would call to achieve his or their holy and divine, not agenda, but maybe a duty, maybe a mandate to create Israel. I'm glad Israel is created. I'm glad Israel exists. I'll not oppose Israel to get bigger, but not in this way of stealing lands by force and killing by force, but maybe to embrace the Palestinians, because Jews and Palestinians have lived peacefully there. No matter how we try to portray that they have been enemies, they have not been enemies all the time. Jews who have lived in Palestine for millennia, who didn't leave the country even when the temple was destroyed with the Romans, whatever you have, whatever happened, but have lived there. Jews and Palestinians have lived there peacefully. They can live peacefully. They both can be good, faithful citizens of Palestinian Israel, whatever you call, if these morons and evils are not the one leading the Israel. I would love to see not two states. I would love to see a great Jewish Palestinian state where they live democratically and they have both their practices in peace, Judaism and Islam or Muslim or whatever it is. But this is not going to happen until we first recognize that the criminals are in the White House, in the State Department of America, in Congress and in Senate. They pretend to help Israel. I have no problem helping Israel and Jews. I have no problem never cutting the aid, but I have problem using them to kill innocent kids, innocent civilians for evil agenda justified by whatever crime might have been done against the Jews by Hamas. Thank you very much. I hope I made any sense. My English is terrible, but I believe my ideas and are not wrong. Anyhow, take care you all, but please, please, please don't vote for that lunatic Biden, who I have before loved with all my heart, as much as you can love a politician when he was a senator, believing he is a great man. He is he's evil, he's a hypocrite, he's a lunatic, and so are all his fucking administration, especially minorities. Blacks shouldn't vote for him. Whites all should vote for Donald Trump. I don't know if Donald Trump will be any better in this issue, but at least he is true to his heart, even if he is not as good, or maybe not good at all, but at least he is true. We know who we have, and not a evil like this motherfucking Biden. Take care, guys. Bye.